Oh, Bowley, do you know what that's worth? Cole Palmer is the best on earth. The silky mank boy don't give a He won Chelsea, the Club World Cup. Straight off the dome piece. Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host. Yeah. What's going on? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Welcome to Chelsea News. And yes, it is the daily series here on the channel where I reflect on what's being said about Chelsea, giving you my thoughts, feelings, opinions on it. More importantly, as always, asking for yours, guys. Look, Chelsea. Of course, there is chance. I feel like there's a growing reality percolating in the background that Nicholas Jackson's going to be like, look, man, great time at Chelsea. Won a couple of trophies, had a good time, raised my profile, earned some money. I think he got his, pay rise. But I can see what's going on here with Delap and Joao Pedro. Maybe he could be sold. Don't think Chelsea are necessarily going to buy a striker, but I think we are going to buy an attacker. We're going to talk about that today. Different attackers, and we'll look at their stats as well. That'll be fun, won't it? Just a little spoiler, it will be Morgan Rogers, Xavi Simons, and Rodrigo, because why the ruddy heck not? There's talks about we're going to get into it. Still Enzo Fernandez links to Real Madrid. They'll never go away. We'll talk about it briefly as well. And of course, maybe a quick nod to potentially signing Jarell Hato. Guys, welcome on back. Sit down, make yourself comfortable. Thank you as always for hanging out with me here on Football Therapy and supporting the content. Very much obliged. You can do by just dropping a like, subscribing if you're new, hitting the bell if you choose to subscribe. Let's get into it. Right. Jarell Hato, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about him. If we we'll do more of a statistical deep dive on him if it does look like the transfer will happen. I do think it is a really sensible signing. Dare I say a priority position if we're just not talking about the goalkeeper for a moment. Putting a pin in it. Let's just look away. Let's pretend it's not happening. La 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 la. It's all fine. Not looking. Can't hear you. So yeah, Cucurella, amazing Marc Cucurella. What a, turnaround in his Chelsea career, his arc, his beautiful story, an incredible champion, an absolute hurt house, yeah, a wind-up merchant, which we've been so severely and sorely lacking at Chelsea since the departure of Diego Costa, I'd say. He's not as aggressive as Diego, but he's definitely a wind-up merchant in terms of, getting his hair pulled by opposition multiple times. 3 times already playing for Chelsea. 2 punished, 1 not, the Romero one, which is the most blatant and craziest. Anyway, we need backup for him and a decent deputy. And with Ishe going to Strasbourg, it would seem, which, on a permanent for a few million, but if he's a Strasbourg, he's our player. Come on. With the greatest of respect to all Strasbourg fans, come on. Anyway, we'll need genuine backup, and Jarell Hato looks tactically versatile. Chelsea apparently looking to do a 40 million quid deal for the Ajax defender, but they want 60 million. I wonder if a deal will get done. I'd be really interested in doing so, and I do genuinely see it as a priority position, but let's talk some sexy attacker stories, shall we? That's right, the sexy stories are always in the front line. Right, so first of all, let's just talk about this. Xavi Simons, here he is, this is on goal.com. Man United and Chelsea step up interest for RB Leipzig Xavi Simons, but hurdle remains. Bayern Munich are also interested. He only signed with Leipzig permanently earlier this year after his initial loan spells from Paris Saint-Germain. Seems unlikely to join Chelsea and United as the former has a lot of attacking options. And Brian Burmo and Matthias Cunha going to Man United. But Bayern Munich are also very interested in him. He is an option. Of course, he can play on either flank. Is an attacking midfielder, sort of predominantly. Certainly an option. Lots of Chelsea fans would be quite interested in him. Of course, as well, this is on Court Offside. £80 million outstanding Premier League top transfer target, of course, referring to Morgan Rogers. the original ice cold celebration that he gave to Cole Palmer, who was his boy. They're besties, they're close. He was like, yeah, you can have it, and you're a superstar, take it. But obviously, Roger still does a celebration, as he should. Maybe it would be nice, a good branding synergy to have them both at Chelsea. I went on Alex Goldberg's playback yesterday, we spoke about this, and I think Rodgers is excellent. They gave me like a sort of, if you could choose Eze or Rodgers, I don't think there's strong links to Eze. I would go with Eze, even though he's deceptively old. He's like pushing 30, mate. Says the 36-year-old, calling him old. But I always saw him as like Michael Olise, similar age. Even if I thought in my head he's a year or two older, I didn't know he was that much older. If I wanted to drop a player into the Chelsea team tomorrow to help us win, I'm going with Eze over Rodgers. But I understand the 22-year-old Morgan Rodgers all these players are still like these inside auxiliary forward, like positionally versatile utility men, where I personally think we need another winger, a left winger, because on the right, Pedro Neto he's an orthodox native right winger. He wants to play on the right wing. You've got other left footers that can deputise there very well. Estevao, Palmer, of course, Tyreek George, and then suddenly you've just got Gittins and George as well on the left, but he may go on loan, who knows. It's just Gittins on the left. That leaves us short. Genuinely leaves us short. So I would be looking at an actual left winger, a guy who his first priority position is left winger, and that is Rodrigo of Real Madrid. Now, of course, he is potentially there's so many conflicting stories with Rodrigo. I'm going to say it the English way, not the H way. Ronaldinho, Rodrigo. I'm going to say Rodrigo, mate. Of course, he's been linked to every single club in the world. There's reports coming out of Spain and Madrid media like, yeah, he's definitely going to go, mate. No, he's 100% staying. No, he's going because he wants to play on the left and they need money. No, he's staying because he believes in Xabi Alonso's project. It's very confusing. And, if you choose who you want to believe, there is stories, yet again, that they're trying to generate funds. Bearing in mind, Real Madrid have had an underwhelming season, financially as well, in terms of didn't win proper titles. They've got free transfer in Mbappe, but he's on huge wages. They've obviously spent significant fee on the likes of Dean Howson. They did spend 10 million to get Trent in early, but he would have been on big fees as well. And there's a suggestion that they are still interested in Enzo Fernandez, and then selling the likes of Camavinga apparently, and rather interestingly, Fran Garcia and Rodrigo. Now this is, I'm sorry, coming from Fisher His, that publication again that just come out with seemingly the most sensational headlines to get clicks. Here we are reacting to that, but whether it's them or indeed other pieces, other media broadcasters, publications, there's always long-standing suggestion. Now, I'm not suggesting Fernandez wants to leave Chelsea. We saw him all emotional in tears at the Club World Cup. We know how important winning the Club World Cup historically has been for South Americans. And, he's an Argentinian, beating Brazilian sides on the way in Palmeiras and Fluminense. Do you know what I mean? And then beating the best team in the world in the final. It seemed to mean so much to him. He is Chelsea's vice captain. Look at how he behaves on the pitch with Reece James. They roar at each other. They slap each other in the face and headbutt each other. Stuff I want to see as a Chelsea fan. This is like the tribal, raw, immense, stuff. You want to see, reminds you of Chelsea of old, the Warriors, the Titans on the pitch. Maybe we have hacker Willie Issa in the background. There's a hacker for you. I believe that's how it goes. He's the mentality monster that's indeed injected this raw passion into these previously soppy, wet, juvenile Chelsea players. Now they're headbutting each other and going to war. I like it. Yes, man. So I want Enzo Fernandez to stay. I think he's an absolutely wonderful footballer, incredibly gifted, takes the game so seriously, as you'd expect from an Argentinian footballer. But he also has got Real Madrid written all over him, I think. He's stylish, he looks cool, he's got the tattoos, he's again, South American. He looks He sort of gives Galactico, doesn't he? And he's that kind of passing midfielder that they're sort of lacking now in the absence of sort of Kroos and Modric. I'm not saying he's either player, but that sort of profile of passing midfielder, he would suit them. And I think they would love him. He'd be a Galactico signing for them. He would be. Chelsea would make not only a massive book profit, but probably a transfer profit should they sell Fernandes. But I don't think they're planning to. But again, guys, what have we heard the last months? That everyone's got a price at Chelsea, bar maybe, like, apart from players that are yet to play. Let's say Estevao, Penders, like the players who've just been signed, like Joao Pedro, maybe not even Delap. If someone just came up to us now and said, can I buy Delap for 50 million? Chelsea could probably go, yeah, there you go. Genuinely. A player who hasn't played Premier League football for us yet. Not that he'd want to go and he'd be like, what? But, I'm just talking in theoretical terms here. So they're very, very, very few. Cole Palmer, Caicedo, I think Reece James, Levi Colwill, I think's in their untouchable list. But it's very small because they back themselves to make that untouchable list into like an iconic 11 and then like loads of good players around that can be sold. Do you know what I mean? So like they want to be prime Real Madrid and also have loads of players around these prime 11 that they'll sell, that'll be worth loads of money. And, whether they're at Strasbourg or the new other clubs, and Strasbourg's better now. It's a consistently top 7 club in Ligue 1 and yada, yada, yada. So they'll back their portfolio thing. And because of that, if Enzo Fernandez goes, I've been thankful for my time at Chelsea, it took a while to get going, but I think we're a good team now. And actually, I feel like I won't feel bad for leaving you in good shape, and I'd like to go to Real Madrid, please. Chelsea go, all right, 20 million pounds or whatever. Or even 110. He cost 105 million. If they bank a profit on him and a big book profit, which will certainly be the case, then I wonder if they'd consider it. But of course, this means Rodrigo, it's just all linked back to them considering selling Rodrigo because he's a player that ultimately wants to. He's not been playing for Xabi Alonso in the Club World Cup. He wants to play on the left. Vinny wants to play on the left. Mbappe wants to play on the left, especially with the young lad Garcia up top looking like a good striker option. If I was Xabi Alonso, I'd drop Vinicius Jr. I'd play Mbappe on the left, which is crazy to drop. Well, if Vinny wants to play on the right, but I'd play Mbappe on the left because he scores loads of goals, and that's where he wants to play. I'd play Garcia down the middle, maybe. I know that might be a bit fast to just quickly adopt this kid as the Real Madrid number 9, but So look, let's make. I'm just quickly going to prepare some stuff. One sec. Right, here we go. X value. Xavi Simons, very, very strong, actually. Look at his recoveries. Very hardworking, predominantly left-sided player, which kind of suits Chelsea. This is what we're talking about, backup for Gittins. So he likes to play in the number 10, but that is a left pocket player. Look at the heat map on the far left of the pitch. He'll still get chalk on his boots. He might not take it to the byline, like a Gittins does, or a proper, Pedro Neto, whoever. Really good at recoveries, really good at assisting, best in the ruddy game at assisting. I'm not going to look at his athletic stats, but we will look at his advanced stats for further context here. Wow-wee. I haven't actually looked at Xavi Simons yet here. He's really, really, oh my God. Amazing at expected assists and open play situations, so not free kicks and corners. So just open play, amazing, creative. Expected offensive value added, top of the pops, just like expected assists, and dribbling as well. Actually, maybe not as a goal scorer, but as a creative player and a ball carrier, that is pretty darn incredible from Xavi Simons. His pass map, as you can see there, is predominantly left pocket as well. So actually, he's really impressed me. I think it cost a lot of money and might be hard to get. Let's look at Morgan Rogers then. Not great at recoveries too much, probably a little bit more of a free role at Aston Villa in terms of again, but here we go, predominantly right pocket, and we'd be looking at him as a right footer to hopefully play a bit more on the left, but he has been playing a little bit more on the right if you look at that heat map there. So probably for me not the most positionally obvious, despite people suggesting that he is a he's a priority to, well, he's like the most likely attacking target. He's got 8 non-penalty goals out of 7.92, so he scores what he's you know, expected to. Slight overperformance, but negligible difference. Yeah, man, let's look at his advanced stats. And let's have a look at here. Yeah, 1-to-1 Explorer, nowhere near as impressive. Bearing in mind, though, he's not playing in the Bundesliga. He's playing for Aston Villa. I mean, his passes are good. I think he's very much probably like an eye test player at the moment. Morgan Rogers, you can see he's just like mustard. Do you know what I mean? As well, really, really worth mentioning, of course, that Xavi Simons is an RB Leipzig player. You know, the fear is there. Do you know what I mean? The Werner, the Nkunku, and then you know, I get it. It's that kind of vibe. And even, I know he's at Leverkusen, but Havertz to a degree. Very different player, less transitional than Nkunku and Werner that want to run into space. Havertz is more of like a pocket player, isn't he? Which everyone thought he'd be perfect for the Premier League, and no one's really fully cracked him. Everyone just, whether it's everyone, Chelsea and Arsenal just end up playing him as like a meat and potato striker because they give up trying to play him in the half spaces, basically. And of course there is Rodrigo goes, as you can see the heat map here, left and right winger, but he wants to play on the left. He's a right footer. He's 24 years old, so he's in the Chelsea. What do you call it? He's the perfect profile. Let's look at his advanced stats then as well. Bearing in mind he's been playing out of position. Very good dribbling, as you can see. Non-penalty dribbles 1 and expected threats from carrying. But it's essentially because really where his progression is really good as well. If you look here, come on. Expected threats from carries, 98th percentile. It's annoying that this website, I can't show him just on the left wing. Let's have a look at what he was in previous seasons. This is the season before the one that's just finished. Again, much better on non-penalty XGs. I wonder if he played a little bit more. Let's have a look at his overview. 1 second, this freaking thing. Yes, so the season before last, I can confirm, this is his non-penalty XG. So when he's playing on the left, his favourite position, that's when he's in the 93rd percentile, 94th percentile for non-penalty goals as well. So he's a goal scorer. He loves playing on the left. And yeah, basically, that's where he thrives. Of course, the only thing with Rodrigo is, he is, even if he's on the biggest of wages at Real Madrid, he is on big wages that will almost certainly break the wage structure. And of course, there is talk about him wanting a pay rise as well, which would be completely out of the question over here. But it is worth mentioning as well, Chelsea will pay their players a lot if Chelsea play well. Chelsea are back in there's been like bonuses for all the players for winning the Club World Cup. Significant bonuses. Bonuses akin to winning the Champions League. So you do that, you're going to get that money. That's, you know, no wonder they're all mega, mega happy. Of course, they won a competition. Footballers want to win, but they got a lot of money as well. So it's worth mentioning that. They get Champions League money now. There's a 20%, I think, pay rise for being in the Champions League for everyone, all contracts. So there's that as well. You know, Real Madrid and Chelsea of old, and certainly, I don't think Arsenal currently, but big teams in the last 10 years generally didn't do this Champions League bonus thing because they were like, we're always there. But as certainly in the Prem, the middle class has got better and better and threatened. I certainly think teams like Man United will have pay cuts for being out of Europe now, when they would have never have had that historically. So look, there is scope for Rodrigo to earn a lot of money at Chelsea. Maybe they give him some of his image rights, which would be massive at Chelsea. You know, they give him the basic Caicedo, like, you know, 185 a week, but plus the 20% because you're in the Champions League, plus a goal bonus. Like, the money is there to be made, you know? And maybe he thinks, you know what, it's worth it. I'll still make a lot of money. I might even be Chelsea's top earner because of my profile, you know? And then, you know, Cole Palmer will be thinking, oh, I'm due another pay rise soon. Do you know what I mean? And maybe he just thinks, I just get to be the guy. I'll go and be the guy. Of course, it's not just Chelsea. He's been linked to Arsenal. He's been linked to friggin' other teams as well. Liverpool, most notably, lately as well. He's been linked to them. But it'll be very interesting to see where he ends up. Let me know what you think. Comment down below, guys. Leave your thoughts on the attackers I've spoken about, Jarell Hato, and indeed other things I've spoken about in the video. If you want to support, like and subscribe. And if you've got this far, you obviously like the content, so why not check out the second channel, Football Yannick, where I also upload every day about the non-Chelsea stories in world football. So I'll gently go waft you over there. I'm really grateful actually for the support I'm getting on Football Yannick. I've like pushing 19,000 subscribers, and I'm really, because I'm uploading every day, I really want to get that 20k number. So please do consider going to support me there. And other than that, I hope to see you back here soon. Peace.